prior to your show, do you still get that feeling of excitement when you see the crowd?
Yeah.
The airports and...
Yeah, we still do, yeah.
What did you think about these jelly beans yesterday?
It's too hard, man. Yeah, you know. Any of you fellas get any?
Did you get... I had some sitting downstage.
Yeah.
Did you get more at the Cow Palace than ever before?
No, it used to be a lot worse in England. You used to get millions, you know. I mean, the Cow Palace is so big that people at the back haven't got a chance, you know, of reaching the stage. But they're too hard, you know. You wouldn't mind. Don't throw them jelly beans, please. Give them in or something if we must have them, but don't throw them.
Do you think that's a feeling of affection?
I don't know. I feel it.
Would you rather marshmallows?
No, I don't want anything, you know. Streamers are marvellous. We played Australia and they used to throw streamers and it was a knockout, you know, because it's just like a big carnival, all streamers and balloons and that, and they don't hurt.
You had the worst of it at the Cow Palace because of all of the people standing behind you, and they were hitting you in the back.
As well, so I don't stand any chance.
You know, I thought that you had made kind of a standard rule for yourself, especially after the Washington performance the first time around, that you would never play when there is a certain portion of the audience that is behind you. Was that right?
No, I didn't make any rules. I've never heard of it. No. It's another new thing.
Another rumor.
Hello, boys.
Yeah, that rumor.
Paul McCartney just joined us.
We wouldn't play anyway if the people were behind us. We didn't stipulate anything like that.
Would you urge Would you urge the rest of the people in the other places you're going to be across the United States to throw streamers?
Streamers are great. Yeah, I love.
You want streamers? You'll love streamers.
Yeah, I love them streamers, boy. Because it's such a they don't hurt half as much as jelly beans. Party, you know, it's marvelous.
Don't put anything in the streamer to weight it down.
No, please.
What about this comment that I heard about from you, Paul, concerning racial integration at the various performances?
We don't like it if there's any segregation or anything, because we're not used to it, you know. We've never played to segregated audiences before, and it just seems mad to me. You know, it may seem right to some people, but to us it just seems a bit daft.
Well, you're going to play Jacksonville, Florida. Do you anticipate any kind of difference of that opinion?
I don't know, really, you know, because I don't know what people in America are like, but I think it'd be a bit silly to segregate people, because, you know, I mean, I don't think colored people are any different, you know, they're just the same as anyone else. You know, over here, there are some people who think that they're sort of animals or something, but I just think it's stupid, you know. You can't treat other human beings like animals. And so, you know, I mean, I wouldn't mind them sitting next to me. Great, you know, because some of our best friends are colored people.
So, attitude, and I hope that...
well, you know, I mean, that's
the way we all feel, you know.
That's the way we all feel, and a lot of people in England feel that way, you know, because there's never any segregation in concerts in England, and in fact, if there was, we probably wouldn't play them, you know.
Sydney, Australia was the biggest crowd that you'd ever played to before, wasn't it?
Except for last night.
The Cow Palace.
Yeah, it was about 12, 15,000, someone said.
Did it give you a different kind of feeling playing before 17,000 screaming?
Well, yeah, you know, because...
The bigger the better for me. I love it, you know, when there's millions and there's more happening, you know, it's fantastic.
And anyway, the noise is all louder, you know.
The more the people in the audience get going, the more we get going, you know.
Out of all the records you've made, what is your favorite?
I don't know, I think A Hard Day's nice at the moment. I like that record.
What about you, Paul?
I think the same, you know, because it's nearly always our most recent record that's our favourite, you know. What about, you're talking about our records?
Yes, that's right.
We've got lots of favourites.
What do you think about all these groups? I'm sure you're aware that the orchestration and the Boston Pops doing your records, this is quite an honor to you.
Yeah, and I think Cilla Black's a very good group.
What about the Animals?
Greatest groups. Yes, they're very good.
Record.
You like that?
Yeah. They're nice fellas too. You know.
I believe it's number one over here.
Yes, it is number one, and they're going to start an American tour. It just came out today.
They're great on stage as well.
You know the Rolling Stones too?
Yeah,
we're
very
the
well.
Stones.
They're good friends.
They're very personal friends of yours.
Yeah,
very good friends.
In fact, most of the groups are, you know. I mean, people. We hear some ridiculous rumours over here, no doubt, you know, as you know, but we hear rumours like the Beatles hate every other group on the face of the earth. Yes, it's not true, because all the English groups especially, because we know them, you know, are all friends of ours, and I can't think of one group that we dislike, you know.
Last evening at the Cow Palace, the show was stopped twice to kind of tone the crowd down and get them out of the act.
It's a bit of a drag, you know, because...
I noticed that one time, right in the middle of one of your introductions to the song, song, the MC went out and stuff. Did that irritate
Well,
you
actually, we
somewhat?
told him now, to cut that out.
Unless they go nuts and start ripping the place apart, which I don't think they will.
Were you happy with your picture, your first picture, you yourselves?
Yes, now.
It's better now because...
Yes, well, we went to see it first, just about 10 of us, it was sort of dead, and we were sort of picking on each other, saying, or on ourselves mostly, saying, well, if I'd have done that, this way and that way, and if I'd have looked a bit more this way or that way, but when we went to see it with an audience, and they were laughing at all the jokes, we enjoyed it, and I was even laughing.
Yeah, it's much better with an audience,
So I like it.
Yeah.
Out of all your personal experiences and appearances, what was the highlight out of all your appearances at different cities? Can
It's very hard to answer.
Are there any highlights?
Yeah, there's millions of highlights. I mean,
too many, that's why you can't pick on one. I can't, anyway.
What's the one city that you're kind of anxious to get back to on this tour?
Well, last time we only went to New York, Miami, and Washington. So
I fancy seeing New York again, because
New York.
and Miami's great, but we're not actually going to Miami. Washington is, in fact, they're all good in different ways, all the cities of America.
Are you really sleeping all day long when they tell us you are?
Well,
no,
we're up now, aren't we,
What time is it now? It's
half 3, and we're up.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't go to bed till 4.
Well, you didn't have a chance to slip out last night, huh?
No, we didn't slip out anyway. We just sat in our room and laughed at each other.
What do you do, tell jokes when you're in there?
No, we just had hysterics.
Just one of them nights where you sort of, just one little thing starts one laughing, and then we all end up curling up.
You do a lot of reading in your spare time?
Sometimes, all depends how I feel, We have phases where we read like lunatics.
We read last tour that was in Australia. We just read every James Bond book out. All of us did. And we were just talking James Bond for the whole tour. Calling each other M. Band.
I imagine the tragedy of Ira Fleming was pretty close to you, eh?
Yeah, it was a
bad
drama.
loss, actually.
Do you listen to records too?
Yeah, of course. Including Cilla Black's new record, It's For You. And it's not that I'm trying to plug it. No, it's not that I'm trying to plug this song, but it is one of my favourite songs.
It is, actually.
Mind you, John and I wrote it.
Do you and John ever have any disagreements?
Remember, folks, it's for you. Pardon?
Do you and John ever have any disagreements as to lyric and the musical score of the song?
Remember, folks, it's for you. Pardon? Disagreements? Not really. Sometimes if we're writing a song, sort of sitting down and writing it together, then one of us may think of something which is a bit corny, and the other one will say, that is corny. Remember, folks, Cilla Black's It's For You. Great record. Not corny at all.
Just send me a copy of that record, Bob.
Yeah, I'll send you a copy of that.
He needs the money.
Well, folks, favourite record at the moment. Your favourite record, my favourite record, Cilla Black, It's For You. I'm not trying to plug this record, you realise, don't you?
No.
Beatle people.
I wouldn't. I'd never try and plug.
Have you got a record to plug?
It's one of mine. No, I love so many, I can't plug any.
I understand Pat
How about
Boone
plugging Cilla Black? Hey, that's a good record, yeah.
I understand Pat Boone was in town last night to talk to you.
I
Did he see you
understand too.
personally?
We didn't see him.
I think he's still here, actually.
Gave a message to our press manager, Mr. Derek Taylor, who passed it on his good wishes.
How do you feel about the fact that a former teenage idol in America now has his organization printing oil portraits of the Beatles?
It's a good idea, I think. He's a good businessman, probably, isn't he? Sounds like a good idea to me. Actually, I'd never buy one. But
Why wouldn't you, Paul?
I don't know. I've never seen a good oil painting of us yet,
Okay. The guitar you have, right? I should say the guitar you're playing has 12 strings. Now, before the song If I Fell, during the act, you changed guitars. What is the reason behind this?
Because it's got a different sound, you see. With the 12 strings, it's 2 sets of each. I mean, there's 2 lots of each string, you see. Only instead of it being tuned the same, they're in octaves, you see. So instead of getting this note, like you would on an old one, you get. So you get, and both together, so it gives you that noise, you see. it's a higher sound, and with it being electric, it's a good sound. And so the ones I've used, when I've used this on a record, I use it on stage as well. You see, that's why I'm always swapping around.
You like to do a lot of vocalizing, a lot of singing?
I don't mind, don't care actually. As long as I'm on.
George, what's the worst question anybody's ever asked you at a press conference? Can you remember? Or one of the worst?
Well, I don't know about worst, but the ones that make us cringe most are the ones like, what are you going to do when the bubble bursts? Every day we get that, And so you get a bit fed up after about 3 weeks of every day people saying, what about when the bubble bursts?
And another thing, I notice I've heard your sister in America, she lives here, doesn't she?
Yeah, that's right.
I heard her on some programs around America. Has she ever been in show business before?
No.
None of the members of your family?
No, my dad used to play guitar when in the Merchant Navy, Not just for his own amusement, but that's about all. Oh, I had a brother who was in a choir once, but, nothing really show businessy,
I talked to John about this, Paul, and I wanted to know, before the Beatles ever came about, before the word Beatles, or before this career ever came about, what ambitions did you have as far as a career? Want to be a doctor, a lawyer?
Didn't want to be anything, because all the time I was at school, I used to just get my guitar out at night, and I used to neglect my work at school because of the guitar, and so that was the only thing I really wanted to do, was be able to play a guitar and, go on stage, and as luck would have it, that's what I was able to do, and it paid off. Didn't have any other ambitions, not that I can recall anyway.
Out of all the English groups, I'm saying groups now that are current, and that came following the advent of the Beatles, the first time we learned about the Beatles, which are your favorite groups?
Well, the Animals are the most recent new group, but they're a great group because they have a good sound on stage. They sound just as good as their record on stage. And, they're good musically. I like those, and I like the Searchers because they've got good harmonies. And the Stones are good as well, In fact, there's quite a lot of groups that all we like,
Now, I'll ask you a question that I also asked Paul. There are so many young ladies around the world who show great admiration for the Beatles, and many for you individually. If you had to pick a wife, let's say, or a girl that you want to be your wife, what would be the attributes that you want the most in a wife?
I don't know. You can't...
You can't tell till it comes along?
No, I couldn't, I'll let you know, though.
No, I don't go for this gossip type of question, but...
I don't mind. It's just like, you can't write down, sort of, say, the 10 star qualities you want in a wife. And, you may find the wife's different, entirely different to what you originally planned. That's the sort of thing that just happened, you'll just know.
There's a girl who wrote us a letter and said, do the Beatles ever get bothered by these very personal questions about their families? And she thought it was very bad for everybody to ask you these questions. And I myself, when I listened to some of the questions at the press conferences and around, I know if I were asked those questions, I wouldn't like them too much. How do you feel about all these personal questions?
We just had to sort of get used to being asked questions like that, because we sit there so that people can ask us questions, and so we'll answer any. But, now it doesn't bother us, what if they ask us something that we don't really want to answer, we just give them a soft answer, something that, something that just doesn't make it personal, if you know what I mean. If they ask something about your dad and you don't want to tell them, well, you just say, just make it into a joke. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Paul McCartney speaking, and this record, you've really got to buy this record. Fantastic. I'm not trying to plug it, mind you, but here we go with Cilla Black's great rendition of It's For You. Spin it.